$84 trillion. That is the biggest wealth transfer in human history, and it's happening right about now. For decades, boomers have been sitting on the biggest pile of assets in history: real estate, stocks, businesses, yachts, mysterious gold bars in their basement, you name it. And now they're starting to die off. Cold but true. And all that money is about to move somewhere. But here's the kicker. If you think that you're getting a piece of this $84 trillion magic jackpot, you might want to sit your ass down, because most people, they aren't seeing a dime. And the real winners are gonna have banks, hedge funds, and the ultra rich who are using this transfer to get even richer. So let's break this down. Who's getting the money? Who's getting screwed? And what can you do about it? All right, let's look at the numbers. Boomers control more than 50% of US wealth. That's more than Gen Z, Millennials, and Gen X combined. And by 2045, they will have passed down an estimated $84 trillion. That is more money than the GDP of freaking China. And the top 10% of boomers hold nearly 75% of that wealth, which means most of that money isn't getting spread around. It's getting concentrated. And here's the first gut punch. Only about 20% of millennials and Gen Zs will inherit anything substantial. The rest, not a damn thing. So, who's actually getting the money? You might think, well, if my parents or grandparents are sitting on some wealth, surely we will get a piece of that. Maybe, but let's talk about who's really about to cash in. Ultra wealthy heirs. The rich stay rich for a reason. They have their kids inherit everything. Billionaire families like the Waltons from Walmart, Cox, Mars from the Candy Empire are transferring billions tax-free. Trust fund babies. The top 1% has entire legal teams making sure that their kids will inherit assets, zero estate taxes. And then you have financial institutions, because banks and investment firms are salivating over this transfer. They will make billions off fees, wealth management, and estate planning. And lastly, well, the government can't leave them out. If your family isn't ultra rich, guess who's getting a huge cut of that inheritance? Uncle Sam. Estate taxes, capital gains, and legal fees will eat away at anything that isn't locked up in a trust. And now let's talk about who's not getting the money. Well, that's pretty obvious. Anyone whose parents don't have real assets. If your parents don't own a property, stocks, or business, guess what? There's simply nothing to inherit. Families with high medical and long-term care costs. If your parents have been draining their savings on healthcare or retirement homes, their wealth is gonna get eaten up before it even reaches you. And then millennials or Gen Zs who assume that they will just inherit property. Here's the fun fact. 1 in 3 boomers still have a mortgage, which means when they pass, their home might go straight to the bank and not their kids. And lastly, anyone who is unprepared for taxes. If you're inheriting assets outside of the trust, you could get slammed with capital gain taxes up to 40%. So enjoy that inheritance. So yeah, this technically should be the moment when younger generation will finally get ahead, but for most, it is not happening. So why does this transfer make wealth gap worse? This isn't about who gets the money, it's about how wealth in America is getting locked up at the top forever. The rich will keep getting richer. If your family is wealthy, you inherit tax-free money that will compound over time. And if your family isn't, too bad. Home ownership will get harder, because boomers own 40% of all homes in America. 40%, let that sink in. And as they pass away, those properties won't just go to their kids, because investors and hedge funds are already buying them up, and the middle class will just keep getting squeezed even more. The cost of living is already rising, and most people just aren't inheriting enough to get ahead, meaning they stay trapped in this constant cycle of renting, debt, paycheck to paycheck survival. Banks and Wall Street will always win. Wealth transfers should benefit families, but much of that money is going to go straight into the financial institutions' pockets through estate taxes, estate sales, fees, legal costs, etc. So, what can you actually do? Let's get tactical. If you are set to inherit anything substantial, you might want to think ahead. And here's how to keep the most of it and avoid getting played. Talk to your family now. If you're assuming there is an inheritance, confirm it before making financial decisions based on it. Set up a trust. If your family has assets, get them into a trust now. It protects against taxes, legal fights, and government dipping their hands in. Buy assets now. If you're not inheriting, start building your own damn portfolio. Buy stocks, real estate, businesses. Because waiting around for an inheritance, it is not a strategy. And avoid lifetime inflation. A big inheritance can be gone in 5 years or even less if you blow it. And if you do get one, invest first, spend later. And watch out for the fees. Banks and brokers, they love to nickel and dime heirs. Go to an independent financial advisor and not the one that your parents' bank recommends. This is the biggest money shift in history. And if not careful, you won't see a dime of it. So ask yourself, are you positioned to take advantage of this? Or are you about to watch all this wealth just skip over you and go straight into the pockets of ultra-rich and banks? What do you think? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk.